cooking on the court right now. Oh man, great show is in store for you boys today. Let's have a good one, yeah? Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. It is, in fact, the best day of the week. Gators basketball is humming right now against Alabama. So if you're watching that, totally understand. We're watching it too, right on the corner of my eye right here. So I'm going to do my best to stay focused, locked in, because of course today we've got the man, the myth, Mr. Knijeah Harris joining us, which I am beyond stoked for. He'll be on in just a minute. He's actually calling in right now as we are going live, so we'll hop over to him in just 2 seconds here. So Knijeah is joining us. Then the Gators land themselves an offensive lineman, and Peyton Joseph. We talked about it obviously on Sunday, but we're going to let Dave talk into it a little bit. Then some more recruiting targets headed into next year, college football playoff updates, and ad-libs, and much, much more. Don't sit back, relax. Don't go anywhere. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's just dive right into it because Mr. Knijeah just joined the show. Let me go ahead and bring him in. What's going on, Knijeah? How you doing, man? Didn't hear us?
Hello, I can't hear you guys.
Oh no. We can hear you.
Yeah, there you go. So we can hear you.
Anything.
All right, we're gonna do sign language. All right, so we're just see you later, Knijeah. All right. We'll get it back in here in just a quick moment. Real quick though, Dave, how you doing? Good to see you, big guy.
Hey, you know what? It's High Top. You know, all good things comes in twos. Me and Shelton, and me, your boy David Soderquist, just reporting the news. Made that rhyme.
I love it. Gators are up 69-60 right now. We got Knijeah coming right back in. Let's see. You can hear us now.
There.
This is the speakers. Oh, that's interesting. Hold on.
Technology. This is what happens, right? He's gonna come in here and be like,
he's good.
Be like,
he's good. We're not worried at all. Look, while we wait for Knijeah, let's dive right into it with Peyton Joseph. I'm sure it seemed like what he just said. There's no speakers on whatever device he's using, so he'll figure that out, hopefully. But let's dive into it. Let's talk about Peyton Joseph. He just committed, obviously, a few days ago. And what is interesting is, again, Peyton Joseph, when I was looking at his film and then I knew Knijeah was coming on, these things were kind of reminding me, like, look, these two guys are similar in a sense, both 6'3", in a sense, a little undersized given the fact of what Power 5's looking for in that guard position, but extremely talented. And Knijeah obviously had an incredible year last year, looking to make a big jump. And Peyton Joseph, top 125 player in the country, really big pickup. Watching his film, I'm excited. Dave, what do you got for us, big guy?
yeah, man. I mean, you look at it. Peyton Joseph here joined the class. It's the fourth ranked internal offensive lineman in the class, and I think it's the number 4 prospect in our class too. Bumps us up to number 16 there, and of course, I love the pickup because the whole big thing was, can Rob Sale recruit anything over 3 stars? Well, Roderick Curry won class, but we wanted to see a little bit more. We finally got a good jump start to the recruiting class, especially with a highly rated offensive lineman there. Top 150 guy there is too, close to the top 100. If you go by like 24/7 Sports, he's at 102. His composite's 121. But hey, man, I am all for picking up a elite offensive lineman, and especially, somebody that can play offensive tackle too. You need him to. Just great pickup, man. A good start for Rob Sale, especially after losing Darnell Stapleton. So I am pretty happy as a Florida Gator fan.
Yeah, and look, I'm gonna pull up this quote here from Antoine Hill, which is the quarterback for Peyton Joseph, a big-time recruit, top 5 quarterback, I want to say, for 2025, somebody that Florida has had on campus, heavily recruiting him, and he even came out today and said, look, Florida are definitely heavy on us. I love the culture there. They're all about football, which is what I'm looking to do. Don't have the exact quote pulled up, but that's really exciting stuff. Obviously, Peyton Joseph is probably going to be in his ear as much as he possibly can. And we're going to talk about some more offensive lineman targets later on in the show. Also, too, they're looking to have some wide receivers visiting. This is something I spoke about, too, when Peyton committed, that you got to think those spots that we were kind of hit and miss on last year by offensive line and wide receiver. When I mean hit and miss, I think we got some talented guys coming in, but the big guys, the big top tier 5-star wide receiver like an Evan Stewart, a Jeremiah Smith, a day one guy that comes in and makes an impact, you got to believe that having DJ there is going to be a little more enticing than may would have been last year, because maybe there was some concern with DJ Lagway stick going into the close of December, and so people weren't 100% sure. Now that he's there, you got to believe, okay, let's go see what Florida's building. let's see what's happening here. And obviously, as things pick up, it's going to get more and more exciting for this 2025 recruiting class. But it is good to see because there's a lot of question marks. I had a lot of questions was, where is this class going to go? How is it going? How are we going to vote? Because of how it ended, because of obviously the hot seat rumors. What's going to happen? Is he going to take the same pace? I think the pace they had last year, I said it last year, I said it at the end of the year, and I've said it, I'm saying it again, was perfect. I think they did everything right except close. They didn't shut it down at the end. And look, I think there's a few things that obviously played a factor into those things, but I'd rather be in the driver's seat come December than trying to play catch up. So love the pace that is already happening with us. Now, good stuff there. What were we going to say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you see, like you said, you mentioned the DJ Lagway thing, and obviously you start off this class with the one of the top offensive linemen, right? So that already sets you up for other top offensive linemen wanting to come into this class too, and that's a position of need that the Florida's needed for a long time. Now, I'm not saying that the guys we brought in aren't good. We don't know that. We won't know till the future. But on a star level, we're struggling a little bit. We've been struggling for over a decade at a star level to get good offensive linemen in here. And finally, you're starting to see a little bit of traction. You get Roderick Kearney. I guess that was one. But now you're getting Peyton Joseph. Hopefully, you can hold on to him until the end of the class.
Sure.
As long as we don't crash and burn like we did last cycle.
All right.
But I think you do see the fact that, like, hey, look, DJ Lagway is going to be the quarterback of the future. I would love to block for that kid. And maybe that was a little bit of an enticing factor in his recruitment. Obviously, he has to get along with Rob Sale, Darnell Stapleton, who is out the door right now. But still, even with Darnell Stapleton leaving, he's still committed to Florida. So that's a good sign that he buys into the staff and what they're doing in that program. So, just a great pickup, and hopefully he can help recruit for Florida on the offensive line in the future.
And I saw some guys in the comments saying, look, we're live during the basketball game and baseball game. It's a busy time right now for Florida sports, which is good, and we are aware of that. But we don't miss days just because of that, right? We got to rock and roll. But Knijeah seems to hopefully got to figure it out. Drum roll, please. Mr. Knijeah Harris joins the show. Can we hear him? We're going to find out in 3, 2, Knijeah.
What's up? How y'all doing?
There it is. How are you, man? It is a pleasure to have you back. I've been so excited to have you back on, man. I've missed you. I didn't get to talk to you last year as a freshman. They keep you guys in a little cocoon. And when Jen said, "Hey, Knijeah is up for talking," I was like, "I love it. I love it." How you been, man?
Yes, sir. I've been good. How about you guys?
Doing well. It was a blast to watch you last year, man, and see you, come up. How's it been so far? Obviously, you guys are getting rock and roll and strength and conditioning. We're expecting big things from you, man. How's the offseason been for you?
Well, it's been good. It's been great to just, kind of hone in and focus on preparing my body and my mind for next season.
I love it. And so you were at class, I think, just a little bit ago. How are the classes going? You getting settled in with what are you studying as well?
Yeah, so I plan on majoring in sports management.
Mm.
I hope to one day be an NFL GM. But yeah, classes have been going great. They offer us a lot of resources, and I'm here right now in the academic center, like for the athletes. So I just finished up some.
Okay. So
Yeah.
they had you on the wrong computer then. Is that what happened with the audio?
I was on my computer and it didn't have a speaker, so I couldn't hear you guys. But I'm on my laptop now, so it's
Okay. Well, I appreciate you making it work, man. Again, it's been a pleasure. Obviously, getting to talk to you about 2 years ago now when you were at IMG and seeing the progress and getting to meet you at Friday Night Lights has been such a cool pleasure. But let's talk about it, man. Obviously, the big thing going on right now, just got a new strength and conditioning coach. From what we're hearing with Tyler, was a big push from the players, really wanting him to step up and take that role. Talk to us about that a little bit and what he means to you guys.
Well, yeah, Tyler's a great coach, and I'm definitely excited for the future with him. Yeah, he came here about around the same time that I enrolled last year, and he's done nothing but great things. And he's grown. I've seen the difference, and he's taken on. Once Fitz got here, he took on a little bit bigger of a role, and now that Fitz is gone, he's going to be the head guy, and I'm really excited for him.
Now, it's been stated that not much is going to change with him taking over. Is that true? That he's kind of just picking right where things left off, and it's just normal, maybe just a little bit different tempo with Tyler, obviously a different personality.
Yeah, no, it's not much of a big change. Things have been pretty much on the same. This has been a pretty smooth transition since he started taking over.
Awesome. That's good to hear. I mean, a lot of people obviously were wondering, and I think it's a big factor. But we've been hearing nothing but great things about the strength and conditioning program, so that's good to hear. Dave, what you got for him, boss?
Yeah, obviously Darnell Stapleton, he left the program and he was obviously a big factor in your recruitment, obviously been coaching with him. How did some of the offensive line and take that as the players and everything meshing well with Rob Sale?
Oh yeah, honestly, since Coach Saban left, I mean, our immediate reaction was just being happy for him. You know, we're excited for him to get another opportunity. And obviously, it hurts a little bit losing a coach, a guy that we've all grown to love. He was a big part of my recruitment, but I really fell in love with the program at UF and the school, not necessarily just the coach. And while he was a big factor, I mean, I'm so excited to be a Gator, and I'm just really excited for him and his future.
So most of your recruitment and primarily why you joined the University of Florida, obviously the coaching goes into it. You want to learn what the position coaches, and you want to learn what their technique and some of their style and then some of the other things about that when you're recruiting. But like obviously you're stating you just wanted to be a Florida Gator. You've always wanted to be a Florida Gator, and you could care less if Shelton was coaching offensive line. Is that correct?
Well,
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I think I trust Coach Napier and our coaches to make a good decision with whoever they bring in going forward. And I mean, yeah, of course, I fell in love with the school, but coaching does play a fact in it. It is what it is, though. I'm excited for him in his future.
so
Yeah.
to be clear, you would still stay if I was the offensive line coach. That's what
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
I,
fair.
I was gonna say, I don't know. Shelton's got a lot of energy. You might like him too, but
Hey,
yeah, I'm just we got to mess with you a little bit, you know.
I love it. I do want to talk Najee because I mean, look, I obviously it's no secret. I think there's going to be a big expectation for you to take a big step up this coming season. Talk to us a little bit about some things that you learned. Obviously, you're as a freshman, some things you learned last year, some things you did well that you would hope to improve on, and some things that look wasn't that great on, but I've got it figured out. And this year, I'm really going to take a step up that maybe we didn't probably notice from watching.
Yeah, so the biggest thing for me, like going into this year, will just be like the speed of the game slowing down for me.
Mm,
Um, Like, coming in, there's a lot of new things you learn, and like the speed of the game is just faster. Defenses move faster.
mm.
Front change, blitzes, and all that type of stuff. So really, for me, it was just like allowing the game to slow down. And I mean, obviously, I'm looking forward to that in the spring and going into fall camp and stuff like that. But I mean, that and also just changing my body. Working in the off season, the spring during the summer to just transfer my body and continue to like prepare for the schedule we got next year. So that's
So talk
really
to me.
cool.
I love hearing when I talk to players like yourself. You guys always kind of use that having the game slow down for me. When I hear that, what I'm imagining is kind of trying to take yourself out, kind of get a bird's eye view, and being able to and not overreacting because you got the line shifting left and right, or you see a linebacker blitzing, and not just sticking to what you know, owning your spot and trusting the guys around you. Is that what you're alluding to, or am I off on that presumption?
Yeah, you got it exactly right. One thing that our coaches have always said since we got here was just like knowing what to do will allow you to play a lot faster. Like when I'm not worried about my assignment, I can focus on my technique a lot more,
Sure.
and that will be like next year will be even once I know what I'm able to do. Like it's just going to be a lot faster and smoother when I'm playing.
Now we had Austin Barber on. Love him. The O lineman I love. I think you guys are just the most bubbly group of guys out there in a good way. You're good bubbly. Because obviously you gotta be dogs too. What
Yeah.
can you give us an idea of what this line's gonna look like heading into spring? I know there's obviously gonna be some changes, but we've got some turnover, we got some guys coming in. What is the thought process right now, if you know what people can expect to look like for this O line and blocking Graham Mertz?
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like this spring and going into fall camp would just be a lot of competition.
Cool.
I think we got a lot of young guys in the room that'll take some big steps forward, like guys in my class and in the
Good.
24 class and enrollees. I think they got a chance to really just grow and continue to learn. I mean, and for my class specifically, it'll be another full cycle, another year through the program. Knowing all the plays and being good with all the workouts and stuff like that. So I feel like there could be a lot of competition. We also have some older guys in the room, some transfers as well, and I think it'll be a good mix of everybody. Just seeing how the competition shakes out.
Great. And I love hearing that again, just the competition. That's great to hear. I do want to get, and I'll let Dave, you go after this. Who's going to be a breakout guy for you on the offensive side of things? Somebody that we're sleeping on. Who's Knijeah got pinned on the board?
In terms of offense or O-line specifically?
Can you do both? Overall offense and then O-line by itself. I think that's a juicy one.
That's a good one. I mean, I would say I'm not sure that he slept on anything, but I'm excited for what Trey Wilson will do next year. I think he's gonna have an amazing year. He puts in a lot of work. He was actually my roommate this last semester, so just being close with him and knowing the amount of work he puts in, I'm excited to see how he'll do taking on a little bit of a bigger role this year. And then for the O line, I mean, one guy that I guess probably heard a lot about is Rod Kearney. He works his butt off, and I'm excited to see how he does this spring.
That's awesome. And real quick, Dave, because the roommate thing, you said last semester. I've heard about, the players moving roommates. Do you guys choose that, or is that a coaching staff thing to have the players just get to know everybody? How does that process work? I've always been intrigued with that.
We do. We're able to request roommates, but for the most part, it's a good mix. Like, I also roomed with Shamar, or I still live with Shamar right now, and I live with Jaden Robinson, a linebacker, and I live with some linemen now. So it's been a good mix, and I think they do a good job of like mixing it up. So we have, friends that we're able to get close with all parts of the team.
Cool. Good. Sorry, Dave. Burn
No, you obviously were at IMG Academy, and that is a school that pumps out talent, and it's all about football and it's all about sports. You transitioned to college, and what is the biggest takeaway that you got from transitioning from high school to college? It doesn't really necessarily have to be on field; it can be, but off field, on field. What did you notice the most, and what kind of like took you by surprise being a college athlete?
Well, I wouldn't say it was as much of a surprise, but just having to kind of grow up, being an adult. I mean, like I was kind of already on that track a little bit at IMG, but they still kind of held your hand a little bit. They made sure everything was straight. But I mean, here you're kind of on your own. You gotta show up to things on time. Stop your training and all that type of stuff. The things that you do when nobody's watching. I think that stuff translates to on the field a lot more than in high school because things were kind of always scheduled and routine. But here it's kind of like you're a little bit on your own more. That's probably the biggest difference.
And of course, college football is changing. It's evolving. You got NIL now, obviously Florida Victorious. I'm sure you've talked to them before you got here. You wouldn't be on the show, obviously, if you weren't talking to them. But what would you say is different from Florida's NIL, Florida Victorious, than some other ones? I know probably some other colleges probably pitched some NIL to you as well on the recruiting trail, discussing what it's like. What's different? What sets Florida's NIL apart from those?
Well, for me in particular, I didn't really make my college decision based off NIL, so it wasn't really a lot of shopping around, I would say, so to speak. But for me, one thing that I've noticed I haven't noticed at other places, like a good majority of our roster is on Florida Victorious, and like even not just like the star big time players, but even some of the guys that are lower on the depth chart, special team guys and stuff like that. They're not all of us, but a good amount of us are still on the Florida Victorious. And I think that's something that I haven't seen a lot.
That's a good point. Yeah, I could attest to that. Yeah. I thought that was interesting too when you see the list coming out. It's like, man, that's a lot of people that they're backing there. So that's great. I love it. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have them on my alerts too. When somebody else gets like introduced or something, it's like consistently the notifications I get. It's just like unreal. It's like, man, they a whole bunch of people.
I thought I was gonna get an offer. It was close for a minute. I think it was touch and go. I was just waiting for the phone call.
That's another thing. All the other sports that we have as well, and then one thing that's also I don't see as often is like the charity that we're able to do, like the giving back to the community that we do through Florida Victorious. I think that's something that's different, and that's something I love about it. Being able to give back to the community.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit more. Kind of like you're just a volunteer. I have the picture showed up now of what that's mean for you. I know we've talked about other guys with that. You get to obviously be with your team. I've seen you're building houses almost every other day. There's a lot of cool things you're learning about building house, but also too just getting to give back to the community. What does that mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it means a lot. Being able to contribute to things like the YMCA. That's one that I love going to a lot. To go hang out with the kids for a few hours and play games, play board games, play kickball and all types of stuff like that. Because I was once in those shoes. You know, I went to the Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, all that type of stuff when I was a kid. And then also like going to the Habitat for Humanity, being able to build houses and volunteer our time to give a house to a first time homeowner, and then even like Made for More, going to the school program, you know, talking to some less fortunate kids, and you know, giving them hope and some inspiration.
Love that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to say I'm 40 years old, man, and that would make me feel good as a 40-year-old to do that. So I
For
think
sure.
that's really cool that Florida Victorious does, do that kind of stuff, especially and you guys get to experience that and see what it's like to help others out as well because it's a good feeling, man. A lot of people don't realize that like, getting gifts on Christmas is great, but giving them back is even better. So it makes you feel a lot more better about yourself and we talk about here about college football and all that other kind of stuff. And there's so many changes. You got NIL, you got portal, you got a lot of other stuff. You've seen some of your teammates come and go from the transfer portal. Um, I sort of like I like it and I don't like it. If there was anything you could change from college football, what would you change? Whether it was like a good thing or a bad thing, what would you change from college football as it is right now?
I would say there needs to be some. If I had to change anything, there needs to be more structure in terms of like the NIL, the transfer portal. I feel like right now it's kind of like the Wild Wild West,
Mm.
and it's very like I don't even know how to put the words on it. It's hard to even speak on because there's not much like to it. It's just like kind of because you know there's all this like basically like investigations and stuff going on, and it's just like I feel there's a lot of uncertainty and especially towards the future. Like how long is it going to be like this? And you know players are able to just come and go based off you know NIL and stuff like that. I feel like there needs to be a lot more structure.
Do you feel that it's a little bit of a distraction at times in the sense of like, man, we just want to play ball, and then it's just we're constantly not that you guys are being involved with it, but it's noise around the campus when it's just like it feels like it's unnecessary at times. It's like, can we just? I'm just ready to get to spring practice and just read the spring notes of you pancaking somebody. You know what I mean? And it feels like it's being overshadowed with just this stuff constantly. Which look, there's a lot of great things that come from it, but like you said, it seems like it's the Wild Wild West, so it's almost it needs a little bit of structure.
Yeah, for sure. I think that a lot of times people lose focus on like the main goal. For me, I never wanted NIL to be like a distraction or something that was big in my decision making because I know that at the end of the day, I wanted to go somewhere where I can grow and develop as a person on and off the field, and you know, reach my full potential to one day chase my dreams of going to the NFL. And I mean, while NIL is important right now, I mean, I feel like it's kind of just pennies compared to what you can make in the NFL one day if you know stay focused and not focus on that type of stuff.
Oh man, you're gonna have the people rowdied. They're gonna love that answer. We just need about 72 more of you. We'll be 85 more of you. We'll be locked in. You know? I love it. What else you got, Dave?
Yeah, I have to ask, man. We do this show a lot. We get a lot of viewers, a lot of subscribers are on this show. I gotta know, man, is there any person that you know on the team or at the school, not necessarily that watches our show? Let's hope they do, but do you know of anybody that listens to any Gator shows, YouTube's, podcasts, anything like that?
Um, that's a good one. I mean, I would say it's a few good amount of people. I mean, some of my teammates and my roommates like that I hang out with. I mean, we've thrown on a couple of videos like just chilling when we see it, you know, on the recommended or whatever. I mean, before I got here, not as much now because I kind of try to like stay away from it. But I used to
Sure.
watch you guys. I used to watch you guys a little bit. You know, watch like 24/7 sports and all that type of stuff, just to keep up to date with like recruiting and stuff like that. I would say a good amount of players do watch some shows here and there, but I would say me personally, I try to like not, you know, look at other people's opinions too much and just focus on, you know, what I know is right from like, you know, like the truth. Because a lot of people like to talk from the outside, but they don't really understand what's going on the inside. So,
Sure. So if you
yeah.
had to like pick a favorite Gator podcast, nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love it. That's awesome, man. That's cool. I figure, I mean, I'm sure with all the nonsense, like it's cool to watch it every now and then, but it probably just like anything else, it's like, all right, we just go play some ball, boys. That's a good answer, though.
Yeah.
That's cool. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, we're at the end of the day, everybody's just talking heads anyway, so they don't really know what's going on inside or whatever you guys talk about there on the field. So, I guess it can for a student athlete. It can get frustrating if you do pay too much attention to it. I mean, obviously, if you're doing good, you're gonna get a lot of praise. But if you make that small, little, minute mistake, they're gonna be all over you. So I kind of do get it, where like some student athletes can get frustrated with some people and all of that. But and something else that I wanted to ask you, because there's something that frustrates me a lot. I saw some stupid graphic out there on Twitter that said we're going to be like a 2-10 team this season, and Vegas has us at 5.5 games this season. What are your thoughts on the projected win totals?
I would say I don't look at them at all. I mean, then they really mean nothing because anybody can predict anything and things can go a lot different. I think all that matters is what happens when we put the ball down. And the things that we do and we work hard every day to get to the fall and get those wins. So I feel like it really means nothing.
So Gators by 1 million.
Yes,
Exactly.
I told you, hey, we're going 12-0, baby, all the way.
All right, I got a couple more questions, Andre. First of all, love you. Thank you again for coming on the show. Tell them where they can find you on Twitter really quick and Instagram. I know you're popular on Instagram as well.
Yeah, both my Twitter and Instagram is at Knijeah, Knijeah, just my name.
Perfect. And also, I tagged you in our Twitter too if you want to go find him and follow him. But what can we expect from Mertz Mania and DJ Lagway head into this next season? What give us a little bit of a taste, just a little bit, not much, I just want a little bite. I just want a bite. I don't need the whole slice.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to see what happens with the quarterback room. I mean, there's a whole lot of talent in there. I know Graham had a great season last year, and I'm very excited to see what he does next year. I love the leadership he shows, and he's just working hard every day. Just one of the better influences on the team, and one of the better guys I've been around. Like his approach to the game is just such a pro mentality. And, I see him work every day. Him and DJ as well, seeing DJ learn from him. I'm very excited to see how DJ does this spring, how he grows as a player as well.
Now, we've had some changes. We were talking earlier with coaches and strength and conditioning, and, that's a lot over this off season. But it still feels like with the interviews we had and just getting as much information from, as we can on the inside, that just, hey, new day, brick by brick, let's keep moving. The team doesn't seem, phased by anything. It just, the goal is still the same. Let's go win some football games. Everyone's all bought into the process and understanding that what is happening is just part of the game, and we're not going to lose sight of what's at stake. Am I right in that process, or is it even stronger than what we can feel?
Yeah, I mean, we have a great group of guys, and I think we all have a common goal. And while we may lose a person here or there, that just comes with it. It's college football. It's like a revolving door, and for me especially, I've dealt with it in high school as well. So there's nothing that's gonna phase me. We all work hard every day. So just one or two people leaving here and there won't change our main goal.
Is there a game? We had a few guys leave. We're gonna play 3 of those teams. We're not gonna name names, but we got any games circled that it's a little more personal now.
I would say the first game. That's what I'm looking at right now. Just,
Okay,
he's
not giving it to us. I like it. Okay.
Yeah, for me personally, I was a Miami Hurricane fan growing up, so it's a little bit of a bitter situation there. So I'm definitely excited to travel with those guys.
Well, I love it. Okay, put it to him then.
Game 1, baby. Game 1.
Sure.
I'm excited. Hey, you got anything else for him, Dave?
Nah, man, I'm good. Thank you for coming on. I know Shelton usually does the introductions and the goodbyes here, but I just want to say thank you for coming on. Thank you for being part of the Florida Gators, and thank you for wreaking havoc this season, because I can't wait to see you out there.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you, Knijeah. Again, such a pleasure, man. I love you to death. I think you're a phenomenal young man. I cannot wait to see you crush it next year. If we're able to have you back on before or during the season, obviously you're more than welcome to, man. Have a great rest of your night, and go Gators, man.
So good night. Go Gators. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
Go Gators.
Knijeah Harris, everybody. Make sure, again, you go give him a follow on Instagram and Twitter. Incredible young man. Absolute blast. This game has my butthole puckered like nobody's business here. Tied 85-85 with 14 seconds to go. I think Florida has the ball. I don't know, but I'm losing my mind, Dave. But incredible interview with Knijeah. A lot of great stuff. Great questions from Swolder there. Just getting some insight. Look, he carries himself like a true leader, man. It wouldn't give us any bone to pick on there, but just enough to keep it rolling. I love it. He's not gonna give us the sauce to talk. I was hoping he was gonna give us one to circle, which he did, Miami. But I wanted one of the three, Dave. I wanted one of the Ole Miss, Georgia, FSU. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted. But he didn't. He didn't take the bait.
Well, we know. I was just gonna say he's just gonna play lights out in all those games anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I love it. Look, I want to go back to this graphic here. I'll put myself. Sorry, Dave. So you're looking at somebody, not just a graphic. I didn't want to bring it up while he was on here. I think it would be kind of weird. But we were talking before the show. This is his PFF grades on the right here. And if you look at PFF, you have to click minimum snaps because he only had like 172 compared to the other guards were at like 700. So look, big difference. I understand. But he was the highest rated offensive lineman last year, inside offensive lineman guard, not tackles, and not including his center. I don't think Jake Slaughter, or maybe he was. Look, with a pass block rate of 80 and a run block of 78.1. Now, obviously, again, you get up to the 700 snap. Does that dwindle down a little bit? Sure, 1,000%. But ultimately, look, you keep that pretty close to it. That's exciting stuff. You love seeing that. We're down to 3 seconds. Blocked!
Yeah, it's going to overtime.
I just yelled. That was kind of loud. My wife's going to kill me. Sorry. What a play. Real quick, while we're doing this, while this game goes in overtime. Okay, actually, no. Sorry. I'm all over the place. Go ahead, Dave. What were you going to say about Knijeah and his production on the O-line? I can't do this.
It's fine. Yeah, Shelton's having a heart attack, panic attack over here while I'm remaining calm. I'm not the biggest basketball guy, so I'll go into the PFF stats here. And obviously, he's only had a little over 100 snaps, like you said. But like to be in the 70s and rated in the 80s at PFF is really good. I mean, you want to stay in that 70-80 mark, regardless of what position that you play. Obviously, if you have a tackling grade of like 20, but you're an offensive lineman, that doesn't really matter. But like, you know, as far as his run blocking grade, his pass blocking game, the snaps, I mean, it's good. It's something you want to see. You just hope that he can consistently keep those numbers up as he grows into the left guard position over there. And hopefully, you know,
this was a true freshman. And real quick, sorry to interrupt, but this is what excites me and why I love Knijeah Harris. Comes from IMG. Again, he was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school. So it wasn't like he was this 5-star guy that was supposed to be a day one contributor. He was a heavily contributor for a 3-star freshman. And I got to believe that the Richie Leonard and allowing him to walk was because of what he's able to do, genuinely. And that's what excites me. And again, how you can just tell by talking to him how bought in he is into the program as well, which is something you love to have a part of the team. So I love it.
What I liked about him too is he didn't really care about like NIL, and I mean, like he obviously every kid cares about some sort of NIL. That it wasn't his main focus. More of his main focus was like, you know, playing football, making good grades, and that's like something you want to see. And I know Billy Napier's really, really strong on getting good quality character players into the program, and he's a good example of somebody who's like high character, good quality, makes good grades, and those people usually are the ones that focus on what their task is in at hand and their goals, and they wind up becoming good players because of that, because they are focused. They don't really pay too much attention to outside noise, social media. We've seen that with former Dan Mullen players. Thank God they're out of here. And right now you have players that will focus on playing football and the task at hand instead of just getting on Twitter and searching their name and worrying about what people said about them.
And obviously, I've been hearing some things about Big Rod, and then him mentioning Big Rod. That excites me. He was a 4-star recruit. He was the second or third highest rated recruit last year. So think about that on just production-wise. Didn't have as much production as Knijeah did. Position was a little more thick than what Knijeah's position was too. All those things to consider, but really excited to see what he's able to do heading into next season as well. But let's keep it on the offensive line conversation. Some articles were dropped. I do want to read some of these articles. I think it was Corey Bender. I'm not going to, try to take any credit here. Yeah, it was Corey Bender. Couple of guys. We got Buchanan here, Michael Fasse, 5-star offensive tackle. He just announced his official visits. We were not on there, which Dave reminded me of. But the consensus of reading these articles and reading of these 4 offensive tackle, which is interesting, was all of their praise for Rob Sale. How they've grown closer with Rob Sale. Their communication with Rob Sale is great. They love what's built with what they're building there at Florida. They love DJ Lagway is a big incentive of reason why they want to go play for somebody like DJ Lagway. So that was ultimately the big thing. Again, you got all these 4-star offensive linemen, and I would love to see if we're able to land a few more of these. Again, Michael, I don't know how to say his last name, has not set an official visit with Florida yet, but that's definitely Florida's number one goal right now is to get him in.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously talked about he doesn't have any visits rolled up for Florida. He's actually supposed to visit LSU, Texas A&M, and Texas, and Oklahoma, Colorado there as well. So nothing really near the SEC except for A&M and LSU, and that's more of the central side of the state instead of the southeastern side of the state. So it looks like he has more of a focus, I guess, on the middle part, and probably wants to stay close to that part of the states over there. So will it be something that, like, maybe later on in the recruiting cycle that Florida or some other teams can maybe convince him to go visit a game or something? But usually when a prospect, especially at the beginning of their recruiting process, lists their visits and your school's probably not one of them or not even close on the map to one of them, they're probably aiming towards somewhere in the United States closer to home or wherever they like to be at. Not saying that Florida can't get in the mix and not saying that it could be something good down the road. Just saying right now, it's a little bit cold for him. And then obviously you have Zaire Addison. He visited Florida there a couple of times. He's going to visit again on the spring game, or at least he plans to. 6'5", 280 guy. Plays tackle right now. Could probably be better guard maybe at the next level, but we'll see. And what I really liked from here, he's got a really good burst. Like when right as the play breaks and right as the snap is called, he's got a really quick burst. Also top 250 prospect from Riverview. So I kind of like him too. And obviously Tavares Dice there. Currently crystal ball to Auburn, and he's from, Georgia. 6'4", 280. Transferred to Langston Hughes in 2023. I think this is all Auburn here, but you never know how recruiting goes, as I said. We had a lot of players come into our class that got chipped away at the last minute. You know how NIL is. Anything can change at the last minute. And obviously Max Buchanan, he visited UCF on their junior day. He has another visit lined up with UCF. He has Clemson there as well. But he has Florida in June. That's his last visit scheduled at the moment. And we all know, though, like the last visits are pretty good to have. I mean, it doesn't necessarily...
Hey, you know what we call June around here, Dave?
Yeah. June.
Jubilee June, baby.
Jubilee June. Yeah, that's what it was. I was wondering what we called it last year.
Jubilee weekend, baby. Yeah, so right now UCF leads the way at 20%. He's 20 miles away from there, so it's a close to home kind of thing. Then Clemson, but yeah. Florida has made some ground. I think it was much lower when I looked the other day, and now they're up to 10%. God, we can't make a free throw. So we'll see. But I like Max a lot more, just given his proximity to Florida. So that one's going to be one they heavily push. Like I said, the other ones are going to be a lot tougher, but those are definitely big targets right now for Florida, and you got to hope that they're able to close on a couple of these guys. Again, I'm going to do a projection here in just a minute on what I feel Florida needs to be focused on for spots and how many player position we need for 2025. A lot's going to change, I think, with the portal. I mean, we've kind of learned that, but I still think 25 has to be in the cards. Finishing at 19-18 is not gonna get it done. So
no, and also, like we were just talking about Max Buchanan. This guy, like if you turn on his film, I don't know if you've seen his film yet, Shelton, or not.
He's a beast.
He's really strong. Like when you look at like some of the plays that he makes, he's pushing people down on the ground. Like there's guys getting pushed on the ground. There's guys falling all over the place. Like he's the only guy that I've looked at so far with film to where he's just manhandling people. And those are the type of offensive linemen that you want to have on your team.
Yeah, look, it's interesting when we obviously over the years we've talked about offensive linemen and what they mean to rankings, but the value of, and I'm noticing it, the value of offensive linemen has always been there, but it's increasing dramatically. And we have the Elite of Sevens, and we have these camps. I believe these camps for O-linemen are going to start happening more and more, and they want these guys to be more established in high school versus just a big body. And we're starting to see more of that, so where they can come in and be a plug-in right away versus just a size and taking 3 years to get developed. That is the one pro, I would say, of these camps, because I actually watched a video. I think it was the girls' Connecticut basketball coach. I can't think of his name, but he was talking about how the AAU tournaments kind of have ruined college basketball because they'll go and play 6 games in a week, right, on Saturday and Friday and Sunday, but just practice once. And that's how you get better. But you've got the guys over in Europe practicing, 6 days a week, playing 1 game a week, learning fundamentals, learning these things, learning how to process it. And again, the guys that are playing AAU are super talented, but they're not getting the basics. And I think that's where I'm seeing that with these 7-on-7s. Like, yes, those are great. Those are a tool, but they're putting a lot of weight into these 7-on-7s, in my opinion, that aren't going to really translate. There's 0 pads. There's nobody's blocking you. You're just, it's backyard ball. And again, speaking of Marcus Stokes, phenomenal young man, great player. He was under the radar, goes to a 7-on-7 camp and explodes. Like, now they see him. It's like the kid's been balling out in high school, like with pads and against kids. And I understand the talent changes there, but the style of playing changes as well too. So I'm starting to see it again, and I think it is good to have these camps. I think the weight distribution needs to adjust a little bit, but we're starting to see more of that, I believe, for lineman development, which is great. And you're seeing kids like this kid looks like he's ready to play today. Like, honestly, it's the mullet which got me excited. That was the only thing that I really cared about. Like, I was like, we gotta have him. We gotta have him. Figure it out.
It was the mullet and the matching hair, wasn't it?
That was honestly, it drawn to me. It drawn to me.
Yeah, these 7-on-7 camps, they're good for seeing what skill set a player provides, but more than like the results of a 7-on-7 don't really mean jack. I mean, we heard DJ Lagway say, "Yeah, we're going to see what it feels like when the pads come on," and look what he did. When the pads came on, he won just about any award that you can win in a high school era of football, like the National Gatorade Player of the Year, the Bobby Dodd Back Trophy, I could name like 1,000 of them. I'm not going to go ahead and do all that, but we all know what his accolades were and what he won. So the thing is like when you play football, you're getting the actual experience. You're not playing in a camp. And I think that like some of these camps do set some players up for failure, because there was one 7-on-7 camp that he was in, but he was the last quarterback to throw to the receivers and the defenders. The receivers are all tired. They're winded. The defenders are probably the same way. So you're not getting the full, like, the full skill set of like some of those guys out there. I think it was kind of cool. And at the same time, you're a dual threat quarterback in a camp as a dual threat quarterback. Like, you're not able to move in the pocket. You're not able to like use your skill set. So you're just forced to stand there in the pocket, which I also think is kind of dumb, odd, and stupid too.
Yeah, look, they're important. I'm not trying to discredit them. They're just understanding the weight. So look, it's going to be interesting to see O linemen. I think their value has increased tremendously. And I think O linemen are starting to realize like, hey, if I want to be considered a highly recruited O lineman, it's got to be more than just size. So we'll see how that plays out against, and then we'll monitor. Let's talk about projections for next year. Again, this is just a thought on what I believe Florida needs going into next season based on how he finished last year. The big point of emphasis I believe Florida's got to focus on is the trenches, which obviously it's every year. Last year we finished with 4 linemen on both sides, D-line and O-line. When Georgia and Bama's, they finished with 6 on both sides, which is massive. I mean, you're talking about just flooding those guys in on a constant basis, having 6 year in and year out is massive. It's absolutely huge. And we've fallen short for 2 years now. You could almost put 7 on there. I don't think we have the bandwidth for all that, but that's going to be a big one. And then my other one that I've kind of circled would be wide receiver. I would like 4, maybe even 5. We've got a lot though, and I don't want to get overkill with it. Maybe it's 3 to 4 top 50 wide receivers with some size again, just to kind of show to me that Billy's getting it done and that they see the offense is appealing enough. That's for me. Maybe I'm being selfish. Maybe these wide receivers come in. Again, there's a lot of speed, not much side, but a lot of speed, and maybe they utilize it, like they should. And I'll eat my words. I don't think I will. But those are the 3 main things. Tight end, I got 2. Running back, I have 2. Quarterback, 1 to 2. I think it's going to be tough to get 2, although Lane Kiffin does it. Just given the fact of the landscape of college football, I think 9 of the top 10 quarterbacks for 2025 are already committed. I believe maybe 8. It's insane. So
wow.
Now, we might get 1 plus a 3-star guy, and I think we're like a Max Brown would be great, like a pre-Max Brown. Linebackers, I got at 2, and then cornerbacks and safety, I got from 3 to 4, obviously, combination. Could add 1 more of those, too.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, Mertz is going to be gone regardless after this year, unless he gets hurt and doesn't play 4 games, and then he gets to red shirt, which hopefully that doesn't happen to him. But you look at it, you look at what's behind DJ Lagway, and that's no slouch on the guys that we brought in from the portal or anything like that. But obviously, they're not day 1 starters, right? You need somebody that can come in there and start. These are more of guys that can, if somebody goes down, they're serviceable, right? So, or you're at least hoping you can develop them a little bit more. So, yeah, I would agree that like the 1 or 2. Running back, obviously, Montrell Johnson will be gone. Not sure what's going to happen with Cam Carroll or if he, I mean, I'm sure, I know he's back from injury, but I think he's only got 1 year of eligibility. So he'll probably be gone. So you do need 2. I'd say tight end, I don't know, 1 or 2, I would say properly for that. Wide receiver, I would probably go 2, maybe 3 on wide
a little heavy on
receiver.
the 4 then. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's plenty of talent in that wide receiver room we haven't seen yet. I mean, Andy Jean, he's a
Sure.
big dude. Aiden
Sure.
Mazzell, you know, got the Jere Hawkins coming in. You got a lot of speed anyway. I would say probably maybe 2 to 3 on that aspect as well. And then you got offensive line. Can't get enough of those guys. So, or anything in the trenches that's like highly rated, just take them in. Like you can't get enough of anything on the O line or the D line. So I'm okay with whatever numbers you put there. Linebacker, I can see a couple there as well. I mean, you got Miles Graham, you got Aaron Childs. That's your future right there. Hopefully nobody goes in the transfer portal. I doubt they will, but let's hope they don't. And then obviously, you know, but Derek Wingo probably, I don't even know how many years. I don't think he's even played a year of eligibility yet. So you've got to, I guess you could take 1 or 2 more linebackers and then corner. Yeah, I would agree with the 3 to 4 as well, because Jason Marshall leaving. And then some of those guys are going to get older and leave pretty soon too.
Sure. And look, the portal plays a factor too. So it's a weird thing. I think we're still trying to get used to that part of it. Right now, it's a minute left in this Florida game. It's 89-94. It looks like we just kind of ran out of gas. Okay, Walter Clayton. Look, I was going to kind of give you my tidbits, I think, to make a good run in March. And one of the things is going to be able to close. I was telling you that before the show. And look, I think they kind of clutched up, were able to tie it, but you're going to play 2 games in 4 days every weekend during the tournament. You're going to have to learn how to get, healthy and freshened up. So something for, I think, Golden to focus on over down by 3 now in the coming weeks, down by 1 with 35 seconds left. I'm losing my effing mind over here. Sorry. Be sure to special like button and subscribe. I'm losing. Nobody's even listening. There's no way that people are watching right now and listening. Real quick, while we're here. If you guys aren't able to watch it, you do want to listen. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, whatever. Go find us. Go listen to us. Drop a like. Leave a review if you want to. We're working on getting out there more from an audio standpoint in case you guys aren't always able to watch us. So check that out. Now, I do want to talk about they made some changes to the college football playoffs, which we were all hoping for with the wipeout, I guess you could say, of Pac-12, because originally it was 6 and 6. So you would have your 5 conference championship plus the 1 FCS best ranked champion, which would have been Liberty this year. They didn't agree on it. One of the one of the commissioners didn't agree on it, which then caused it to be on hold, but they agreed on it. So everything's good to go. It moved from 5 to 7. So you're going to have the winner of the ACC, the winner of the Big Ten, the SEC, and the Big 12 get the first 4 spots, and then that 5th spot will go again to the highest rated FCS champion, which would have been Liberty. So what I did is I went in and I plugged in what it would have looked like if that were the case this year. And it's interesting because I took into consideration that Washington and the Oregons are going to be in the Big Ten. That's how I looked at this. So Michigan would have been 1, Bama would have been 2, FSU would have made the playoffs at 3. Oklahoma State would have been 4. Like, that's crazy to think that Oklahoma State with 3 losses, I think, would have been, well, Texas would have been, but they're out of it, right? So I gave it to Oklahoma State, assuming they win the Big 12, because, I mean, you got either Kansas or Oklahoma State, but they didn't even make it. So think about it. They would have been a team in that Final 4 spot, which is crazy to think. Something I saw on Twitter, and I highlighted down here on the bottom if you're watching, Notre Dame is in yellow. If Notre Dame finishes the number 1 seed and goes undefeated, they will still be the 5th seed because they won't win a conference championship. So that's why I put them in yellow, to kind of show like this isn't actually because they weren't in the top whatever to be considered, but they would be the 5th seed if they were to be undefeated, which is crazy to think that because they were so stubborn to be in a conference, they would fall from that. They would then be matched up with, again, Liberty. Liberty would have been the 12th ranked team, even though they were a conference champion. And then you got the Ducks versus the Tigers at 8 and 9, Ohio State and Penn State at 10, and UGA and Ole Miss at 6 and 11. Now, obviously, something to note here that's really important is all these teams are going to play each other, right? A lot more than what we lost.
They lost.
Yeah, than what they normally do, because Ole Miss, Ole Miss, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma, I mean, they're all going to be beating each other up. Same thing with Michigan, Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State. It's going to be much different than what this is. But again, I just took of how the team finished last year. Who is missing out of this, though, is Washington and Texas, because they were 2-3. And again, their conference got eliminated. So they didn't make this particular diagram. But I just wanted to give you guys kind of a visual of what it would have looked like. And it's, again, I put Notre Dame in there, which they weren't in the top 5. So I could have put like a Texas there. But it's interesting. I'm excited to see how it's going to play out. And then also before the show, like an hour before the show, they're talking about going to 14. What's happening, Dave?
Like, what the hell are they doing, man? Like, I'm so sick of this. Like, they keep trying to change every single thing in an instant. They can't stick to anything in college football. You want transfer portal, then you want these new rules, then you want to change the rules next year, then you want to add this, add that. I'm not going to go through all that, but like, it's getting to a point where I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed. Just stick to something and then make it work. Like right now, I'm okay with this. Like you don't get people like UCF bitching and complaining about, oh, we didn't get into the playoff. Well, now you're in, you won your conference, you're undefeated, whatever. So it fixes that problem. But then I've found out a way to where somebody could bitch. Okay, well, we're not here because of this, or we're not here because of that. At the end of the day, there's always going to be a team out there complaining about not getting into a playoff or whatever, FSU. But at the same time, like, I do like the structure. I think it's too many games to play from a standpoint. But like at the end of the day, you're getting an all-conference schedule, which if you're an SEC fan, that's a badass thing to look at because you're going to get a good game every single week.
Sure.
And then you've got a playoff where you're going to have good games through the playoff as well. And people are really going to have to earn their spot into the playoff. And I think it's number 1 through 4, they get like a bye, right? And then the other guys.
So how it would play out right now, looking at this, it's a little off because I don't have the teams winning playing like this bracket, but it's more just filling in blanks. So 1 through 4 would get a bye. And think about this. Oklahoma State, let's say they win the Big 12. That's got to be probably the least rated champion. Like that Big 12 championship is going to be a little weak compared to the SEC and the Big 10, and honestly might be stronger than the ACC. So I'll hold my tongue there. But so if you're looking at it like this, Mizzou would play at Oregon because the first game is going to be at home at that respective stadium. Penn would play at Ohio State, Ole Miss would play at UGA, and Liberty would play at Notre Dame. And then the remaining games are at neutral sites, which is great for SEC Mike. But that first round is going to be at the favorite seed, which that to me excites me. Could you imagine the swamp? Could you imagine Florida's like an 8 seed or a 7 seed in a playoff game in December? Oh boy. Yeah. That's part to me is the most exciting part of this entire thing. Like that's uncharted territories. Like I don't even know what that even I can't even fathom what that's going to entail. Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I mean, like could you imagine what the tailgating and all that's going to be like too?
Insane. Insane. It's going to be fun. So that's I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. Like, I don't like the fact that they're changing a lot of things in college football, but I actually kind of like I'm kind of starting to warm up to the new playoff system. I just hope they do, like, with the new announcement of like 14 teams and all that. I just don't want them to add way too much to where it just gets to being like really cheesy and nobody's going to really watch it until like the final 8 teams, and then they'll start watching it because like you want to see good matchups. You don't want to see like Vanderbilt playing fucking.
Easy. No, this thing, it's going to be sweet. I think 14 might be a little heavy, but again, I think the reason being is if you kind of look at it, it's like, man, when you like 10 to 15 is close. I think that's their problem is that 10 to 15 mark. It could be anybody, and they've never really cared about it. I probably have like, it didn't matter. Like, right. 10 through 25 doesn't matter. None of it really ever really mattered. And now it all does. And so you get to that 10 through 20 mark, 10 through 15, I feel like is always usually pretty close. Then there's like a fall off from 16 to 25. It's its own little category. So that could be the reason for it. We'll see. But it will be interesting. See, Rich, he says, when are the white top hoodies dropping? If you're talking about the white high top hoodie that I showed last week, that is a Hall of Famer high top hoodie that you can go and become a high top Hall of Famer member through the site. If you go on our website now, there is some merch up. I can show it at the end here if you guys want to see some of the stuff we have. I will share it. But yeah, hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah. It kind of sucks too. I know I'm backtracking here because of the basketball game, but it does kind of suck that we couldn't land a Macho Man elbow on Alabama just beat the game. So Alabama just does it to us physically and then, at the end. But still, I mean, like, it is basketball. You lose one game, it really doesn't matter as long as you get in the tournament. And then obviously the SEC conference championship. But it is a heartbreaker to lose something so close. And Florida, I looked at it too. Florida had like 2 10-point leads in this game and blew it. But
got to close, man. That's been the story of the year for the Florida basketball team. And look, they are figuring things out. I'm excited for this team. They've got the pieces. I was telling you before the show. They've got bigs. They're ninth in the country in rebounding in the nation, second in the SEC. They've got a guy, Walter Clayton, that can turn it on and take over the game if need be. You can't put all your eggs into that one basket. You got 2 freshmen. You got some Dark Knights in there that are stepping up. They're making free throws at the end, which is another big factor. They're doing all the right things defensively. There's some question marks at times. I'm a big Heat fan. Watching Spo and his wizardry and calling man-to-man and zone at the right times has been a blast to watch in the playoffs. Todd can tap into that a little bit and maximize it. Just earlier here, watching this today, Miami goes on a little bit of a run. Todd calls a perfect timeout, comes out with a perfect play to get the momentum back in Florida. That's a big – those things are small. People may not notice them, but those are huge moments that you need to have going into the tournament. Something we learned today, if I'm Todd, is like, look, legs got tired. Don't know why, but it looked like we just looked gas, and it was almost as if we kind of got stuck in our ways, right? We didn't have a surge off the bench. We didn't have a guy we could go to, and that's another big factor, I think, going into the tournament. Like where we're at, big hard game against Bama at home. We get them again at the O'Connell Center, I think, in a couple of weeks. Right now, we're projected to be an 8 seed, I believe, and play Washington. Last I checked, I think earlier in the week. So we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, that's good. That's solid stuff. I think this is one of the best teams we've had all around in a very long time, though.
Yeah. Like I noticed that they're pretty well rounded. I think defensively they could improve a little bit, but other than that, like when it comes to rebounding, offense, all that other kind of stuff, they're pretty good. Like, and I don't watch a lot of basketball because now you've got me watching a little bit of basketball. But like, as far as like just an overall standpoint of just laying the wood on people, I just wish they could finish some of these leads and not like have the leads cut really close. But I mean, they did pretty good against Auburn. Like they never really cut that lead and they stayed in the whole game the whole time. But I would like to see like Florida, when they get into a lead, keep the momentum going. But like, as I said, Alabama's a good team. I mean, they were the number 1 team in the SEC, but it is good that Florida put themselves in a position to keep it close with Alabama. Now you just got to get over the hump, and they did it in their own turf. So that's an even better feather in the cap.
For sure. LFGM, look, got him on the right side. He says we have the right coach. That's a new one for him. So good to see that. I felt like, thankfully, the Todd Golden noise is dimmed down a little bit because that's been exhausting to deal with Billy and Todd. It's like, God, can we just get something right? So the Todd father has settled the pitchforks for now. Anyways,
we could have Mike White at Georgia right now.
Exactly. All right, let's head into our one of our new favorite segments, High Top Sports Mad Libs. I love these. These are great, and your guys' responses are getting better and better each week, which I love. And you guys know, hey, you know what I love? I love the fact that the people that have been watching the show for a long time, you don't have to put a lot of energy into it. You just know who's picking them, and that's how you get on the screen. Like, and they know what they're doing, and I appreciate it. Like, it's one line. And you know how to get there. There's a couple of them, and people tapped into 2 of them today, and I appreciate it. Now, to be fair, a few of you said the same thing. It's whatever I see first. So in the future, if you want to be on here, be quick. And I may look at Twitter first. I may look at YouTube first. It just depends on what kind of mood I am that day. So I got banned from Facebook for life. So anybody who follows me on Facebook or usually tries to communicate me on through Facebook, I'm banned for life at the moment. I don't. We'll see.
By the way, Mark Zuckerberg, you suck, dude. You suck.
And if you're asking what I got banned for, I got strikes for some of our podcasts, and I recently started a new podcast. It's a Christian podcast about kind of finding God and talking about our process, and I shared that with a Christian song on it, and that's what put it over the edge, just so you guys are aware of what I did, how horrible of a person I am. All right, so let's move in it. Blank is a team that will make it into the playoff that we don't expect, and they will do it by, drum roll please. Okay, here we go. Florida is a team that will make it into the playoffs that we don't expect, and they will do it by spanking everyone and Holly's mom. You son of a Tim Dunn. I was like, you got me. You got the tater. I'm biting the bullet.
The spirit of Holly's mom rolls on.
I almost want to send it to him like, hey, like they still love you. All right, even though you quit on them, they still love you. So I love it. All right,
you get mad.
Blank is a team. Blah, 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 they will do it by Kansas State. LFGM, shout out to you, is a team that will make it to the playoff that we don't expect, and they will do it by winning the Big 12. You know what's funny is, Muddy, I didn't pick yours because you're boring, but he said Kansas. Look, he put it again. He called it. He put it again. He put it in the comments. This guy, I can't with this guy and his Kansas love. It's unbelievable.
It's calling his shot, man. That's what you got to do. Like what I did with Derek Wingo, man. You got to call your shot and stick to it.
Yeah. Even Q says he sees something in Todd. Look at that. We're turning the waves, boys. Turning the waves. Just give it time. Billy's there next. All right, next one we got. Florida is a team that will make it into the playoff that we don't expect, and they'll do it by 1 million. I love it. That was the real Florida man. I was like, I don't care what anything else. You got me. You got the tater. I love it. All right. Next one is Missouri. I love this one. Love me Mizzou. Mizzou is a team that will make it to the playoff that we don't expect, and they'll do it by having a cupcake schedule. What did that dumbass post, what did it have it as Mizzou winning? Like 8-4 with Bama, I think it was. It had Florida at 2-10, but what did it have Mizzou on? Which is just blasphemy to me. Like,
I would look.
And it had, I think, Auburn at 9-3 and A&M, I think, at 9-3. I was like, it's like people. What annoys me is, like, I'm gonna go make a list and put Vandy at 12-0 just so I can just get people to look. Like, it's like, look at me. You know what I mean? Like, so that you can't sit here and tell me that you feel confident in that. Go ahead. Sorry.
This guy had us at 2-10.
Don't say his name. Don't say his name. He doesn't deserve it.
No, I'm not saying his name. He's an idiot. He had Alabama and Missouri at 8-4. Like, what the fuck is this guy smoking? Like, what is he smoking?
Like, hey, look, I see the Bama. That one I'm okay with. I'm okay with that one.
Well, I'll say this. He probably did that just to get clicks and reactions. So, and that's why we're not giving his name out. But, like, yeah, dude, you're like, it's okay. Like, as long as, if it would have been like reasonable, if he would have had Florida at like 5 games, because Vegas got him at 5 games, I wouldn't have really been like, okay. But like 2-10, like, you don't think Florida can win some of these games on their schedule, especially the first half with all new starting quarterbacks. You don't think that, like, they can upset somebody or win a game? Or, like, come on, man. I don't buy it.
Yeah. What do you have Auburn at?
He had Auburn at 9-3.
And shout out, I think Richard, I don't want to say your last name, but Rich, I think he just became a High Top Sports Hall of Famer. So shout out, Rich. Your white hoodie is on the way. Good stuff, man. Yeah. Thank you, Rich. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for your love and support, man. Moving on is Vandy. I love this one. Ye Olde Beast, absolute legend. They be saying the darndest things. I swear to goodness. Vandy is a team that will make it to the playoff that we don't expect, and they'll do it by extreme violence. I spit out my tea today. I was like, it just punched me in the gut. I was like, I love this. This is beautiful.
Could you imagine if, like, Vanderbilt came out of the gate and won like 8 or 9 games? That'd be hilarious.
I couldn't have me roll with it. I was like, he just, like, you never expect it from you Olde Beast, but he has his fingers in there. He said something in the chat earlier. I mean, cheesing out a little bit. And this is another good one. Iowa, is it? Go ahead.
I was gonna say Vanderbilt was actually good back in like 2013. They had one good year.
Iowa is a team that will make it to the playoffs that we don't expect, and they'll do it by scoring 28 per game. And that's actually legitimate. That's something I can get behind. I was like, they score 28 a game, they probably will. Like, genuinely. Yeah. But they won't.
They already got their offense sucks, but their defense is pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Timothy Packard, how do you become a Hall of Famer? You become a Hall of Famer going to our website, hightopsports.com, clicking the little red button on the top right that says subscribe, and then you get yourself a nice little hoodie that's got a little piglet on it. It says High Top Hall of Famer. So it's pretty sweet. I don't even have one.
High Top Sport without the S because we couldn't get S because it was taken.
What's funny is Cody. I have him in running the store. So when orders come through, he just has a button that he clicks, so it ships it out. He ordered himself a hoodie. I was like, Cody, you didn't even sign up. He goes, yeah, I'm a famer. I don't even have one. I was like, you didn't even sign up. I saw Stephen Harris. You celebrated 1 month of membership. I don't know what it said, but thank you for celebrating 1 month. I'm sorry I didn't read it. I just see now. This is crazy. Andrew, 18 months of a membership. 7 days till Linky flies to Cali, surgery on the 12th. Andrew, we've been sharing the link. Hopefully we raise some money for you guys so you are able to take care of that flight. They had to do a private flight, Andrew Apple and his baby, Linky. It was born with a hole in his heart. So it's been a bumpy road since the beginning, but Linky is an absolute fighter, a dog. He got that gator in him.
Send me that link, by the way. I'll spread it around.
Okay. I shared it on Facebook, but now I'm banned, Andrew, so I can't do that anymore. But we tweeted it out, shared it. Hopefully, we raised some money, and got it rock and rolling. Steven says, I'm calling Cody. I'm getting my own hoodie. Bro, Cody will send it to anybody. Cody has zero, like, he's just like, yeah, whatever. No worries. I go in there, there's like four shirts sent to people. I'm like, Cody, what are we doing? He's like, what?
Cody, I got an address I can give you real quick. You can go ahead and send me one.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm like, Cody, what are you just clicking away? Easy. And I got the company card and he's just firing away. I'm like, what's happening here? I come home and we're in the red. I'm like, what did you do?
We're dropping like MSP recovery, Life Wallet.
He sent Keon Young. We sent him one of the Gatorade shirts, and I go, "There's 2 shirts." He's like, "Yeah, his mom wanted one." I was like, "Cool, love it." But yeah, we'll share it. Stephen Harris will share it as well. Hopefully, again, we raise some money for Linky because they have to take a private flight because of his condition. They can't be just throwing him into Delta airline with all those people.
Yeah.
You don't want to get into that dang thing. Anyways, it's a walking just infested.
Yeah, people see things and they become famous off the internet from it.
Yeah, look, man, great show. I mean, the ups and downs of this basketball game, like they can't do that. I'm not positioned to. They raised 30 grand. Hold on, they raised 30 grand in 3 days. Absolutely incredible, Andrew. Glad that you guys were able to do that. That is awesome. I love that, man. Love that for you guys. They need a flight home. So let's share the link again. Let's send it. I don't know how you're gonna send it to me anymore, Andrew. You have my phone number, right, Andrew? Just text to me, please, because I can't. Him and I. What sucks is I communicated with him on Facebook. That's how him and I communicate. So I can't talk to you more on Facebook anymore, Andrew. Even Q Lee says shout out to that child. Even Q Lee's got a soft spot. So I love that. Linky's our boy, man. Andrew's been a fan since the beginning. We've sent Linky a couple of jerseys. He was born right before my son, so I became a father right around that time. Very emotional and very well connected with Linky. Love him like a son because we've been riding through this, and I'm friends with. Well, I was friends with Facebook. I'm friends with Andrew on Facebook, so I was able to see that progress. So I'm kind of bummed. Those are a few things I'm bummed about. I didn't really use it that much, anyways, but I am bummed about just keeping up with certain people that I haven't talked to in years. That kind of just hit me.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Does he know your Twitter?
I think, but I don't think he's on Twitter that much.
Yeah, I mean, he can always shoot you the link from like Twitter or something like that, or text, and then we can spread it around on social media and stuff.
Yeah, I tweeted it. I think like last week. It did pretty well actually. It got some shares, so that was cool to see. I was happy to see that it had some movement. So send us another link if there's another link, Andrew. Hopefully we can get that thing rolling again. I think that's all I got for you, Dave. I don't have anything else. I think it was a good show though, right?
Yeah. You know what? Every time we're on High Top and it's Wednesday, it's a kick-ass show. And even if there's a
good point
playing or a baseball game, you always can come back and watch. You don't have to watch us live. We prefer you do, but you don't have to. You can always come back, baby. We'll be here. We'll be here all night long.
We love it. We love the fact that we get at least 200, 300 people in here every Wednesday just hanging out with the boys, chilling and relaxing. You know, I was telling my wife today, obviously, we love football around here, but there is a 30-day stretch coming up from March. I'm going to say March 15th to April 15th. Let's just put it right there. That is, in my opinion, the greatest 30 days in sports. Because in that time, what happens in those next 30 days, from the 12th to the 15th, we'll call it 35 days, is when we spring forward, which is huge for me. I love that. Longer days. Beautiful. Then we've got TPC Sawgrass here in Jacksonville. Money. Then we've got March Madness that happens for the entirety of that time for the most part. Money. Early April, the Masters, right? Baseball starts in that period, April 1st. I mean, you want to talk about just a hell of a 30 days, boys, that gets slept on. You want to talk about firing me up and just having me sit down and pour me a good one. Those 30 days, that's prime shot right there, boys. I'm getting my Sunny D because the sun's out a little bit longer. I'm getting basketball here. I'm getting my gambling here. I'm getting baseball, which love it. And then the Masters, that weekend comes on, the wife knows, leave me alone.
And then the most important thing you got is the spring game, April 13th. Got that too. DJ Lagway in the swamp, baby.
What a stretch. What a stretch.
Yeah, I mean, look. As long as football is set to the wayside, you always have the other sports, obviously the Masters and the March Madness. And I love actually watching March Madness, believe it or not, even though I'm not a basketball guy. I still like to watch it because I'm always
Oh, it's so
intrigued by
fun.
who best teams, all that other kind of stuff. And I actually like throw some bets down on it too. So anybody
So
that actually, if you want to throw some bets down, Boz Bets on High Top Sports too. He has.
nice.
I'll say this, like, and it's just not me blowing smoke up his ass. He's been on a roll.
He's
He's
been
been on
hot.
a roll.
He's been hot.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
we love that.
Anybody that wants betting advice, you click up at the top where Boz Bets is, right up there at the top, and you'll get some good betting advice from your man, the Mike Boaster, the Bozeman.
I love that. Nice plug there. So this is our website that I'm showing you guys. You guys are looking to see where you can get some merch. So you guys in the question, thank you for wanting to show some support. So we've got a few here. This is the purple Gatorade one that was a hot one. We've got, this is kind of a classic one. I'm also working on a hat, a little leather patch hat. It's coming in the next couple of days. We've got the hoodie that I usually wear all the time. This is a sticker of a spacesuit guy. Let me see if I can click it. Yeah, look at that. It's pretty lit. How do I go backwards? Nice. This one is my favorite one. I've got this one coming in and today or tomorrow. It's headed to your mom's house. I think this is a great shirt. So much fun. It's on the back too. So I think it's an absolute banger of a shirt. I was pretty proud of it. I'm working on some more. Work on designing a few more. Somebody ordered, I can't remember their name. I think it was Steve Floyd, I think was his name. He ordered this one. Kind of like a throwback to the 90s. Love this one. So working on some more, like I said. Check them out. Got a couple of like a different version of high top, like lift off stuff there. So
that one's sweet.
right?
I like that one.
That one's fresh, right?
Yeah.
And then this one's kind of cool. This one's inspired by Dave. What's up, Dave?
Only pigs fly at High Top.
See the glasses?
Yeah, I know. Hey, and you know what? I've got some more ideas, some more concepts that are gonna shoot to Shelton here for probably be coming in the next couple weeks or so. So we'll have to wait on that one.
We're cooking with gas, boys. I got a few more cooking. I just got to get them up and running. So the purple Gator run I got coming because it's just fun. But yeah, so if you guys want to check that out, High Top Sports Doc. Is it High Top Sport?
High Top Sport.
No S. Is already taken. So if you guys want to check that out, obviously we would appreciate it. And thank you again to Rich, I believe, for becoming a High Top Sports Hall of Famer in the middle of the show. So should say I'm headed to Holly Mom's house. It should LFGM. And LFGM, he was the first Hall of Famer. So shout out to him. Again, all of you guys are Hall of Famers in my hearts, but I want to create more. I want to add more to that Hall of Famer package. I'm going to work on that. I promise. It's some things I got to figure out, but hopefully when we get some events and stuff, there'll be perks for those things. So I want a high top custom made Holly crying FSU shirt. See what we can do. All right, boys and girls, I love you. Be sure to smash the like button. Happy Wednesday. Best day of the week. I love it. It's always a blast, Dave. Until next time, I'm Shelton.
And all great things come in clean. Look at your boy David Soderquist here because I just report the news.
The Georgia score on it. That's kind of good. Peace and love, baby.